I continue this presentation with explaining the details of the book first. The title of the book is about Introduction of Philosophy in the 21st century. The author of the book is Dr. Abbas Muhammad Hassan Sulaiman, which is one of the professor of Islamic philosophy and the history of Arab sciences at the Faculty of Arts at Alexandria University. The book has been published in 2011 and have 287 pages and contains 5 chapters. First, the importance of necessity of civilization. Second, defining the concept and meaning of philosophy. Third, classifications of philosophical sciences. Next topic is field of philosophical research, and lastly, philosophy and its role in the era of globalization in the 21st century. We further our book review with the first topic, the importance and necessity of civilization. In the Islamic world, philosophers such as Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, Avicenna, and Averroes made significant contributions through translating, teaching, and expanding Greek philosophy, despite facing strong opposition from religious scholars. Similarly, in early Christianity, philosophers faced rejection and criticism from some church circles. However, by the Renaissance, renewed interest in classical Greek and Roman thought led to a renewed appreciation for philosophy, especially Aristotle's teaching, which were translated and studied throughout Europe. This period marked the beginning of a new era that emphasized reason, individual thinking, and scientific research, which laid the foundation for modern Western philosophy. Over the centuries, philosophy continued to shape the development of various scientific fields, ethical frameworks, and political ideologies, remaining the cornerstone of intellectual life across cultures. The first topic is about the philosophy in Greek, Islamic, and Western perspective. First, Plato's and Aristotle's views on philosophy. The general public perceived philosophy as useless, while Aristotle emphasized that thinking and contemplation are the highest human virtues. Second, the importance of philosophy. Aristotle argued that philosophy is a noble pursuit in itself, with reason being the foundation of achieving perfection and happiness. Next, Islamic philosophy. The influence of philosophy in the Islamic world. Philosophy began to influence Islamic culture later, blending with it, as prominent figures like Al-Kindi and Ibn Rushd emerged. Opposition to philosophy. Philosophy faced widespread rejection from religious scholars such as Ibn as-Salah and strong opposition, particularly in Morocco and Egypt. Next, Western philosophy. First, philosophy and the church. Initially, philosophy was rejected by early Christians, but later flourished with the translation of Aristotle's work and Muslim commentaries. Second, the European Renaissance. During the Renaissance and the 17th century, philosophy broke free from religious restrictions, leading to the rise of modern ideologies as Christianity declined.
Ta'rif falsafah, philosophy is the love of wisdom and aims at seeking the truth. In Islam, wisdom combines knowledge and ethics to provide a deeper understanding of existence. It emphasizes the integration of knowledge with moral principles for a fuller understanding of life. Mafhum falsafah. In the falsafah Yunani, philosophy rooted in various civilizations seeks absolute truth beyond the material world. The Greeks define it as love of wisdom, blending rationality and ethics. Aristotle and Plato link theory with practice. Aristotle focusing on the causes and principles of existence. Over time, philosophy became more specialized, moving away from the traditional unifying approach. Mafhum falsafah. In the falsafah Islam, Muslims add a religious perspective to philosophy, combining reason and faith. Ibn Sina viewed philosophy as the path to the soul's perfection and happiness, focusing on ethics and knowledge. Modern philosophy later shifted towards scientific analysis, moving away from traditional philosophical approaches. Mafhum falsafah in the Falsafah Muhaddisin, Descartes saw philosophy to uncover the basic principles of certain knowledge, linking thought, action, and reality. It focuses on causes and effect to discover truths, covering topics such as ethics and consciousness. Descartes and Kant highlight philosophy's role as an independent science that examines the foundation of knowledge.
Next, we look at classification of philosophical science among the Greek, Muslim, and modern. First, among the Greeks. Plato's classification of the science of his time is one of the oldest classification of philosophical science ever, as Plato distinguished between three sciences: dialectic, natural science, and ethics. Among the Muslims, scientists and philosophers of faith who contribute to clarify the features of Islamic thought, the field of mathematics and astronomy, Sabi ibn Qura, Al-Khawarizmi, Muhammad Al-Faghani, Al-Tusi, and others. The field of medicine, Bakr al-Ghazi and Ibn Sina. The field of optics, Ibn al-Haytham. And the field of philosophy, Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, and Ibn Rushd. Among the moderns, philosophical science is divided into two parts, theory and application, and each of these two parts include three sciences. Theoretical philosophy include metaphysical study, cognitive study, and logical study, while practical philosophy include ethics, aesthetic, and psychology.
I will present about the field of philosophy. First, philosophy of history. It explores the philosophical theories that interpret the course of history and the explanation of its events. It aims to uncover the laws governing the progression of history and the general principles underlying political and civilizational development. Second, philosophy of natural sciences. The natural sciences turn to philosophy to discuss fundamental questions. Philosophical questions include the nature of time, space, and motion, the application of geometric concepts, and the consideration of time as a fourth dimension. Third, philosophy of human sciences, analyzing the foundations and principles upon which each science is based to uncover methods of reasoning, understanding, and interpretation. The most important branches of human sciences: first, political science studies the rights and duties of individuals and their relationship with authority. Second, history studies human behavior over time.
Philosophy of rationality and criticism in the age of globalization. Philosophy plays a pivotal role in promoting critical rationality in the age of globalization. The history of philosophy is closely linked to the development of human thought and reason, as it is an essential tool for understanding the world through logical and critical analysis. In globalization, critical thinking becomes a necessity to understand global change and the challenges of the area. The function of philosophy in globalization: enhancing the ability to understand global issues from a logical perspective, developing an educational strategy based on critical thinking, supporting scientific discussion on contemporary issues. Through the philosophy, a society can be built that is capable of meeting the challenge of the 21st century using reason and critical thinking. Key ideas. Rationality: the mind expresses the ability to form logical judgment and evaluate behavior, and is considered a tool for determining truth and rational thinking. Criticism: criticism is linked to the ability to review and analyze ideologically, and is part of deep philosophical tradition in different cultures. Globalization unites the world economically and politically, and calls for critical thinking to deal with the challenge of this change.
Philosophy has faced acceptance and rejection throughout history. Plato deemed it useless, while Aristotle emphasized its value in achieving perfection. In the Islamic world, it developed through figures like Al-Kindi and Ibn Rushd, despite opposition from religious scholars. In the West, it was initially rejected by Christianity but flourished during the Renaissance, fostering modern ideologies and diminishing traditional Christianity. Philosophy means love of wisdom, focusing on truth, science, and ethics. Linking these two latter sections will make the discussion more cohesive. Islamic philosophy blends intellect and faith, emphasizing ethics and happiness. Adding examples like Al-Farabi and Ibn Sina would clarify this. Greek philosophy centers on truths, ethics, and logic shaped by Plato and Aristotle, showing its influence on Islamic thought would add depth. Modern philosophy emphasizes critical thinking, practical knowledge, and empirical analysis.
Comment about chapter 3 is, in the Greek era, Aristotle excluded logic from this classification because logic is not a science in the true sense, but rather a tool for sciences, meaning that logic is only an introduction, so it was excluded from the original classification of sciences. The Islamic Caliphate in the Abbasid era was distinguished by a new mentality which the Islamic nation had not known before. In the modern era, there are many classifications of philosophical sciences according to their classifications, such as Francis Bacon, René Descartes, Thomas Hobbes, and others. Comment about chapter 4 is, the field of philosophy addresses fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, morality, logic, and the meaning of life. It encourages critical thinking, deep analysis, and the ability to view issues from multiple perspectives. Although often considered abstract, philosophy provides a solid foundation for understanding the principles behind other fields of knowledge and forming a clearer outlook on life.
The comment, philosophy plays a vital role in shaping rational and critical awareness to meet the challenge of the era of globalization and the 21st century. By promoting critical and rational thinking, philosophy contributes to enabling individuals to analyze global phenomena and deal with the rapid change that accompany globalization. Philosophy is also an effective tool for understanding social, economic, and political complexities, which support informed decision-making and building strategies that enhance global coexistence. Thanks to its ability to criticize and analyze, philosophy enhances its role as a primary driver of scientific and educational discussion that seeks to build a more aware society capable of adapting to the challenges of the modern era.
In conclusion, the book Introduction to Philosophy provides significant benefit to students taking the Aqidah and Religion course because philosophy is often the basis of understanding and explaining religion concepts rationally and systematically. Among its benefit is understanding basic concepts. This book introduces basic philosophical concepts such as epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics, which can help us understand issue of faith in more depth. In education, this book can help us understand how philosophy is used to explain the concept of divinity, existence, and destiny in Islam. Philosophy also trains us to thinking critically and analyze different views, including the debate of faith in religion. Overall, Introduction to Philosophy become a bridge that strengthened the relationship between rational thinking and religion belief, making us knowledgeable and competitive in academic and professional field.